Seems fine. Tomorrow he'll work out again. I don't anticipate he'll go with us to Sacramento. Will not, I should say. I probably say that would be too early. But there's an outside chance that we may activate him before the week's out.
How many minutes do you, I mean, in other words, is he kind of a bench player at this point until he gets his legs back and you see if he can go?
I haven't crossed that yet. I've kind of envisioned him going back as a starter again. Just because, he's got an injury that he's recovering from that takes some activation still. And to have him active at the beginning might be, 6-7 minutes run in the early part. But we'll decide that when we get close to that.
Do you mean in terms of it just stiffening on basically
sitting there on the bench? Yeah.
Does he just need a couple of practices with the full team to kind of get that feel back?
I think that he looks good. He's physically he's strong. Obviously, he's a strong kid. He had contact on Thursday when we got back. And Saturday in practice yesterday was 5-on-5 without Powell and Fish and Kobe. He did well. He stood out. He was aggressive. The other practice, DJ kind of ate him up. But this practice, he was kind of the dominant force in there, and did a good job in the process.
How much leeway do you have in that process of trying to get the best record and still get him enough time to get his legs back, even if he's not necessarily playing well?
I think a lot of it will come back to him. He has been, are we 12 weeks? Where are we at in his process?
Well, it would be like 10 or 11, I think.
10, 11. And I don't think he's been out that long that he'll have lost, a whole bunch of stuff. There's some timing, some reactive things, just, quick twitch fiber, reaction, jumping, reacting to the ball, turning and running back on defense, all those things that will take a little bit of time. The conditioning that goes with that obviously follows when you push yourself that hard. So, those couple games will get him back into that. But, he's not going to be in a game shape position at all by the time the playoffs start, that's for sure.
How do you think he handled that psychologically at the beginning of the year, getting back into the game after that long injury? And now, do you think there's going to be some residual, psychological adjusting to, now I've had it twice. I mean, maybe this could be a recurring thing, even though they were both freak accidents. Any thoughts on that?
Well, he obviously has, some things that he's fighting. The fact that both the injuries came against Memphis, and Memphis is one of the teams coming up, is something that, we've registered because he has expressed it. So that's like a hurdle, to get over. It's not Memphis. It's happened at a Memphis game, but it is not Memphis. And, we want him to play in that game for sure. That's one of the games that kind of earmarked as a good game because it's not a Sacramento game where it's going to be up and down running, back and forth, which he won't be ready for. And it's not, a Denver game, which is, more of a speed game also, and a reactive game, but it's one in which there'll be like size and like speed. So it'll be adjustment. And some of the things that, from a therapist's point of view is that, everything in therapy is controlled. So the patient's coming along with controlled activity, and basketball is not a control. It's all reactive things. And so it'll take a different type of conditioning and reaction to get to that point. So he'll need those 2-3 games, 4 games, or whatever we can get in there for him to get that back. And then we'll have to hope that our practices are spirited and active enough to bring him the rest of the way for the playoffs.